Hi, I'm Nick. I love supporting the FCDC. It brings me great joy. I've been blessed and privileged and honored throughout my whole life in my career, and so it's very nice to get a chance to give back and to support a community and a person in Chima that I believe in so strongly. Okay, let's get started. I've got a bunch of slides. I'll breeze through them. If you don't know what Profound is, we help companies understand, control, and scale how they show up in AI search. We have billions of data points on visibility, citations, what domains get cited across like millions and millions and millions of prompts that we send every single day. And AI search has two dimensions. One is, do you show up? This is the most common thing y'all are familiar with. I'm from Texas, by the way, so the word y'all will make it into my talk like 500 times. I'm not sorry. It's a great word. Please use it. Step one is, do you show up, which most people are familiar with. Step two is, how are you being talked about? How is your brand being talked about? How are you the person being talked about? I was walking in Prospect Park, which is the largest park in Brooklyn, a week ago, and I ChatGPT'd myself and was very happy with what came back. So how you are talked about in AI search is just as important, if not more important, than if you're visible. In the States, we have this airline called Southwest. They were famous for having open seating, so you bought a ticket, but you never had an assigned seat. They changed it in January of this year, but for a while, if you asked ChatGPT after that change, what's the best airline for group travel, ChatGPT would say something incorrectly and say, oh, Southwest still does unassigned seating, which is wrong. This is an example from Nike. Someone's asking, how much does the Nike Alpha Fly 3 cost? I ran a half marathon earlier, so this one is quite relevant for me. You ask ChatGPT about a brand, it gives you an answer, so Nike's visible, check. But it also gives an opinion and says, oh, you should also check out Adidas or these like Saucony shoes. And if I'm the SEO person at Nike, I'm pissed about this. I'm not happy that it was a branded prompt, but ChatGPT decided to insert competitors into it. And so this is what we're calling the Parrot problem. Parrot is because ChatGPT likes to yap and likes to talk, and they give opinions and they give more than just the answer you were asking for. I'll have Chima send these slides afterwards, so you don't have to take a picture, but you can. It's okay. It gives me nice validation when I put a slide up in phones. It's quite nice. Okay, so there's two dimensions. 2D AEO is, am I showing up at all? 3D AEO is, what are LLMs saying about my brand? If you're a large company, if you're Apple, if you're Samsung, you really care that this information is accurate. If you're a somewhat egotistical marketing person who ChatGPTs themselves, you also care about what ChatGPT says about you. So we looked at 50,000 prompts to see what kind of editorializing opinions is ChatGPT and other LLMs providing. It's across 7 industries, 5 different types of prompts based on real user conversations that we have. And so here's some options. I won't read through all of them, but we looked at lots of different dimensions of how ChatGPT and others are giving their own opinions. And the first thing we learned is that they talk a lot. The average response in ChatGPT is 3,000 characters, which is 11 tweets. Imagine asking someone a question, you get a Twitter thread in response. You're like, bro, chill out. You ask a question in Slack and you get a gigantic novel. It's one of my biggest pet peeves. If you're the person who gives me a 5-paragraph essay in response in Slack, I do not enjoy that. Claude is about half is good, half is bad, I guess. About 6 tweets in length for a response, which is okay, but still quite long. So what is the context of those responses? Half of it is an answer to the question you asked. The other half is we're calling unsolicited content. Basically stuff that you didn't ask for. Opinions, tables, fees, we cover it here, a rationale for the answer, a comparison summary table, but half, 1,500 characters of a 3,000 character ChatGPT response is things that you did not ask for. So then as marketers, the question becomes, how do you editorialize in your favor? How do you get this in ChatGPT to say the things you wanted to say, and have it say, maybe not mention your competitors if you're Nike. So it's 2 things, starting with accuracy and then sentiment. And so step 1 is, how do you find gaps in the accuracy of the response that these LLMs give you? We looked into this, and it's actually quite a complicated problem. This is a whole research paper we found that I did not read, our data science team read. They figured out how to do this. My job is to talk about the thing they built, not to build the thing, which is actually also quite nice. It's complicated, TLDR. And so what we did is we took the millions of LLM responses that we have across all these different platforms, and you have to scan the response for what could be considered a verifiable claim. And so in this case, ChatGPT is talking about Linear, the project management software that was historically built for engineering teams. And so the response was it was only built for engineering teams, which the team at Linear, who we work with, says that is not true. Linear is for marketing teams, engineering, design, it's for everyone. And so we compare the verifiable claim to a ground truth that the Linear team has uploaded into Profound. And this is what we built into a product called Fact Check, which is the first tool of its kind that helps you understand how accurate or not an LLM response is. And we worked with a leading fitness brand. I can just tell you it's Whoop. I'm wearing one right now. Don't put that online, but it's Whoop. This is probably recorded, oh well. And so about 11% of their prompts were inaccurate. And so it seems like a small percent, but that times millions of prompts a day, and it really adds up to a lot of inaccuracy. And so we built this whole thing into Profound. It's live for all of our enterprise customers as of right now. And it looks like this. So here's like the claim in ChatGPT. Here's the ground truth that they have uploaded into Profound. And then here's kind of like within the actual response what was inaccurate about it. I love my loop, by the way. I think it's fantastic. So that is Fact Check, which we've built. We're also looking at sentiment. And so not only is the responses for your brand, like the accuracy important, but the context of the accuracy. Meaning, does ChatGPT say Nike is a good brand? Do they say Profound is a good company? Do they say Nick Lafferty is really smart and handsome and good at his job? Which it says all of those things. And so we also track sentiment. We just redid this in the platform as well. And so this is what we're calling the version 2 of sentiment, where we help you understand what are the leading themes that we see when, let me back up. Sentiment prompts in Profound are different. And so most of the prompts that we track are called open-ended prompts. An open-ended prompt is like, what is the best women's running shoe to run the London Marathon? Sentiment prompts are the ones I just mentioned, like, is Nike a good brand? Is this shoe good? Is Whoop a good wearable? And so you mention a brand and ask it for its opinion directly. And then based on that, we'll scan the response and say, how much of that response was positive or negative? And then we group this into themes. And so if you're a company looking at this, you can pull out the negative sentiment and then go look at what pages were cited the most in AI search, and then go sick your marketing team on them and say, hey, this Reddit thread is full of haters. Let's go like find a way to organically engage with them that's not kind of strange for Reddit. It's just one random example. Not that I'm doing that at Profound at all. And so this is what sentiment looks like. I'll skip that part. And then so then step 2 is how do you control the narrative? Like, you know what's wrong, how do you go and make changes effectively? This is, I guess, like the closest parallel to EEAT in AI search is make non-commodity content with a tear-down mindset. Because as great as LLMs are, they can't physically sit in this room with us. They can't have pizza with you. This company in New York had this great brand campaign a couple months ago that said AI can't have a cigarette with you, which I think is a brilliant way to talk about that LLMs can't sit in a seat in Southwest and tell you if it's comfortable. They can't wear a shoe. They can't, go through an onboarding experience, but I think that will happen. That's kind of happening right now for software. But these first two is like very true. They can't go run the marathon and tell you, did your shoe fall apart or not? This is, I think, the most powerful bit of research that Profound has put out in a bit. It's that fresh content is very influential when it comes to AI search. We analyzed a bunch of data and found that half of top cited content was less than 13 weeks old. Every time I show this, people ask me, what does fresh content mean? Does it mean I go like change an exclamation point to a period, and to that I say, use your brain? Like, that's not, please, it's like first principles. But yeah, fresh content is very favored by AI search. And so if anything, publishing content frequently and updating it often gives you an advantage over companies that are very large and can't update their content frequently. Be specific. Don't say your platform is enterprise grade. It literally means nothing. Instead, say you have a like 99.99% uptime, a 38 millisecond response, blah blah blah. Like, be specific. Avoid this like horrible PR kind of like sloppy phrases that don't mean anything. Okay, this is a website called Run Repeat. If any of y'all heard of Run Repeat? Good. If you had said yes, I would be shocked. It's a real website, but it's mostly built for AI search. And what they do is they literally cut shoes in half. They review shoes and cut them up, weigh them, and go through a process that LLMs can't do. And so they test all of these shoes, and not only do they do that, they publish their review schedule on their website. They tell you what reviews have happened, when they were last updated, and then what reviews are coming next. And so this is a signal to the LLMs that they make unique and fresh content. What else they do, y'all probably can't see this, is down here they weigh the shoes themselves, and they compare it to how much Nike or Asics, I just bought some new Asics, how much they weigh. And so this is unique content. LLMs can't go weigh a shoe, they can't go cut it in half. And so this is what we mean by saying create non-commodity content, create tear-down content. Do the hard work. Do the stuff that LLMs or your competitors can't do, and then that's how you'll be rewarded in AI search, just like Run Repeat was. We track a bunch of prompts in Profound. I don't think Nike's a customer, so I think I can say this, but it's like a demo config that we run just to collect data on the running shoe category in AI search. Run Repeat is the most cited domain in AI search. It's at 7.1%. Nike is down here at 2.4%. Imagine being more influential in AI search than Nike.com. That seems insane, but that's what Run Repeat is. And so then my challenge for y'all would be, how do you become the Run Repeat of your industry? How do you do the hard stuff that is not scalable, that even the largest shoe brand in the world isn't doing? It's going so well for them that they get cited multiple times in an AI response, which I think is pretty cool. Okay, so how does this apply to y'all? If you're in a big company, find ways to identify inaccuracy and poor sentiment. If you're a solo person, ChatGPT yourself and see if you like what comes back. Or ChatGPT me if you want, that's fine. Find publications like Run Repeat in your industry. If you're a big company, consider buying a domain, buying a media company. After this, come ask me about my website. Or if Chima gives me 5 minutes, I'll demo it for you. Find ways to expand your footprint in AI search that goes beyond just the .com domain you own. Build agents, use tools like Claude Code, Profound, Codex to find and build systems around your current marketing process. I could give y'all like one blanket piece of advice for someone who works at Profound and hires a lot of people, is that AI tools are becoming table stakes in every conversation I have and every interview I have. When I interview people at Profound, I am most impressed by people who come and have built literally anything with AI search. I don't care if it's like a Pokédex, a way to find like tickets to the Noah Khan show, which I am trying to get tickets to, like $1,000 to go see him at Citi Field in New York City. Please help. Build literally anything. Build a tool, talk about it, post about it on LinkedIn, post on Twitter, post on Reddit, build things, and then go talk about them. I give people bonus points if they built something related to the job I'm interviewing them for. I think it's cool, but you don't have to do that. The difference of me interviewing someone who has built something and can talk about it and like talk about the why. The reason I don't care what you built is that I care more about the problem problems you're solving and the systems and like where you got stuck and how you kind of moved beyond getting stuck. That's the interesting part of those conversations to me, like not the tool. Again, unless you can find me NoahCon tickets, which would be very, very interesting. And then, yeah, create non-commodity content, restructure your pricing page. Fun fact about this, Profound's own pricing page was not accessible to AI crawlers, and we found this out last week. And we fixed it. So it can happen even to us under our noses. And so, yeah, double check that your entire website is accessible to AI search. And then you can do this stuff with agents, which you can do in Profound. We're calling the person who does this job the marketing engineer, which is what my title at Profound technically is. Someone who is a marketing engineer is someone who builds and maintains AI systems. And if you have more questions about this, come find me. We have a free course on the Profound website called Profound University. I teach a few classes about how to become a marketing engineer. It also just sounds cool as hell, honestly. Like, who doesn't want to do that? I don't know, I'm sure there's some people who don't. Okay, and that's it. If you want a free audit of your brand, scan this. If not, I am done.
Right,